Hello guys, thank you for joining us today. Today we will have our second virtual tour and we go all the way to the USA. Our host will be one of your colleagues and will be Jennifer Tenorio. Thank you, Jennifer, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Luisa or Nusha would like to say a word? No?
No, go ahead, Jennifer, you can share your screen.
Okay. Sure. Okay. So welcome to the US. The agenda for today is New York, Washington, D.C., and Thomas Edison's lab/house because they're together. He used to live and do his things in the same place. So
just one moment. If you guys have any questions, feel free to type in the chat or Q&A session, okay? We'll be monitoring there. Sorry.
And Jennifer, go ahead and introduce yourself first.
Oh yeah, myself. I'm so sorry for that. So, going back to the first page. Welcome to the US with me, Jennifer Tenorio. I will guide you through some places I go before, and I would like you to go to virtual. So the agenda, and we have Times Square. So Times Square, it's like basically Broadway. So Times Square is like the center of New York, the biggest attraction because it has like these big screens. And I'm going to guide you through the history of it. So we have these ball drops every year from one of the tallest buildings in the Times Square. So it drops. It was because years ago that it was the New York Times, the newspaper. It was their building. So they wanted to create a New Year's party, and they just wanted to make it like bigger and brighter. So they just said, let's drop a ball. And that became a tradition. Oh no. And that became a tradition, and that's the story of the ball that drops every year in the US. New York, but when it was the Second World War II, they just stopped doing it. They didn't do it that year. They just say, no, not this year. But the next year they did it. Like, not today, but tomorrow. Times Square was at the beginning just Broadway Street basically, because it's Broadway Street and 42nd Street. So it was actually all theaters at the beginning, but later on with the economy, the wars, and the post-war depression, they wanted New York to like just power up. So they start putting new stores. It was actually around the 180s. Yeah, around that, when they have the idea to promote New York, so they start putting the big screens around it, and then more stores start coming. So that's how that was created, that part. Because if you go to this part where all the screens are, it's just stores. But if you go around like the other street, it is more theaters. That's why it's called Broadway and Times Square. Oh, and actually in New York, it's like the subway thing. They just go around because it's like too much traffic and the streets are like small. So the subway just, it's very useful in New York. Everybody, not just in Times Square, it's around New York, the whole state, that they use subways because it's very easy to like manage. And this is my dog in Times Square. We have Lady Liberty, the Statue of Liberty. So it was created by a French. He had the idea when he came to the United States for a trip. So he was like, oh my God, I have this big idea. I want to make a Statue of Liberty. So in 1871, Bartholdi talked with the people who were in charge at that time. So the people who were in charge here in the US, they just start like getting the money, and after they got the money, they gave it to Bartholdi, and they start making the statue, but it was like the statue was made in Paris. And when they had the money for like the base of the statue, they just took it here. They just like in a boat, they just put the statue, I don't know how, and they just made it come here so they can put it in a little island. It was actually exposed on Paris like for years while they were making it. And we can find the statue on an island. There's two islands of the Statue of the Liberty. There's the island where the statue is, and there's an island where the museum is. As you can see in this picture, there's like the statue and the museum. So the other island, it's called Ellis Island. So we can find like museums and some of the history of the US, and as well as the history of the Statue of the Liberty. Years ago, there was acid rain that caused some damage on the statue. So they have to remade it because it was like it like kind of broke inside and around it. So they have to remade it. And you could go up before the 9/11 incident. You could go to the top, like to over here. You could just go inside so you can see the view of the whole New York. But after the 9/11 thing, you just stop. I have Chinatown and Little Italy. So Chinatown is basically a little town in New York, and it has a little bit of history. So the Chinatown, before the 18th, the immigration was minimal, and during the 19th century, the US experienced a mass immigration from several Asian countries. Later, in the 1848, gold was found in California, which caused the Asian people to go there and work because they work for low wages, and they work more. And then after that, in the 1870s, the US economy was a post-Civil War. So they declined, causing many Americans to lose their jobs because Chinese will work more for lower wages. This led to a rising resentment among white population, and mob violence and rampant made them migrate to the largest cities, New York, because they have like more job opportunities and less racism and discrimination. That's why there used to be, there is a San Francisco Chinatown, and the people from San Francisco also moved to New York because of the discrimination in the jobs. Yeah, that's interesting. And Little Italy, okay. And it began to take shape when their first wave of immigration arrived in the 1840s to the neighborhood of 5 Points, because the neighborhood where Chinatown in Little Italy is, it's called 5 Points. It's just a whole neighborhood, and they just like share streets. So we have Chinatown, and Little Italy is like, we can say 5 streets. So it used to be more Little Italy, but the Chinatown just took part of it. And that's why Little Italy is smaller than Chinatown.
Oh, so they are very near to each other, right?
Yeah, they're in the same neighborhood.
Oh.
Yeah, they just share like streets.
Are there any other streets for other countries?
In the same place, I haven't seen them, but I haven't explored Chinatown very well neither.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So next we have Dumbo, Brooklyn. So Dumbo is actually a park where you can see the Brooklyn Bridge, and it's actually very interesting because it takes many tourists as an attraction, because you can see like a very beautiful view of it. We can see here in the New York, this is New York, Manhattan, and this is the Brooklyn Bridge. So you can actually, at Brooklyn Bridge, you can actually walk by there. You can walk there, but it's like very big. That's why I haven't been there. It's like very large, very long. So we have this carousel this carousel was the one who made Dumbo alive again. So we have this carousel, which was exported from Arizona, if I'm not wrong. So this couple remade the carousel. They made it be better, newer, and they just put it there as an attraction. So it's in a crystal box. If you go there, it's a crystal box and you can see a big carousel. You can go inside, play, and everything. So we have the carousel. In the park, we have the Brooklyn Bridge and this little part of the ocean. I think they call it a beach here. I'm not pretty sure. For me, that's not a beach. And you can go and just touch the water, but you can swim on it. You can just go, touch it, take pictures, and that's it. No, you can swim. So here's this view of New York from a part of this, because around the water, it's like many rocks, because sometimes the water just goes up and everything, and they don't want people to die or something. So there's this view from this, and here's my dog in the same view with different angle. And if you just walk more streets like to the left, depending on which side you are, but to the left for me, you will find this building. It's very big, but it's like the half of it is with stores and everything. But if you go to the other side, the other half, it's like empty. It's like, we can call it a museum, an attraction where you can just go and visit and take you cool pictures, because they're like big windows without nothing. Yeah, it's like something empty. And you can see the bridge too. It's like the bridge is that big, you can be like 5 blocks away from it and you will still see it. Yeah, that's how big it is.
I have a question. I was curious about the carousel. Is it just one carousel out of nowhere? It's
Yeah.
it's just the carousel. Oh.
Yeah, so there's the park and the carousel in a crystal box. That's why the carousel made the park alive.
Oh.
Yeah, there's actually food inside, but like just the carousel.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Do we need to pay to ride on this carousel? How does it work?
Yeah, I think you have to pay. I haven't had the opportunity of going like actually inside, but you have to pay to go in. You can actually make birthday parties.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
Yeah. Next, we have the charging wall. So this is actually a big attraction too. I don't know. So many people just go to the bull and just touch his horns or his back. That's very weird. I don't know why they touch it. So this is the street over Wall Street. So here's Wall Street, and like one street over, just go to the next street and you will find this wall. It was it is near where the first U.S. president say goodbye to his troops and the Revolutionary War. The wall, for some people, the wall is a symbol of for some people I'm sorry, for some people the bull is a symbol of out of control capitalism, because the bull represents the bull market, how they call it, when Wall Street is like in the highest levels, like they going up, they're going well. That's how they call it, the bull market. That's why the Monica just go and vandalize the place and just put the bull on it, and it became attraction. And sometimes the bull is vandalism, but like everything, it's cool. They actually, after a company called State Street Global in the 2017, they put the fearless girl over there in front of the bull. But then the Monica said, because they put the girl because it was representing feminism. But then the Monica said, nope, this is my place. I was here first. and he demanded so they can take the girl out. So later on, they took the girl out and they placed her in a better place. Yeah, just because he just wanted the bull to be there. I actually saw where the girl was in front of the bull. And then when I came back, there was no girl. Yeah, that was it. And we have Wall Street, and we can find the girl here. They just placed her in front of the New York Stock Exchange, the big building. Yeah. So in Wall Street, it's the place where the first US president, as I said before, say goodbye to the Revolutionary War troops. And this is like Wall Street. It's called Wall Street, and it's like, it is actually not too long. It's just a small street that you can find the stock exchange, the building. Around the building, there's like so many. I don't know if you can see my mouse. There's like this one. It's in almost 5 of it. There's almost 5 of it where you can see just the market and how their stocks are going. It's actually very cool. And if you go that way, I don't know how the street is called, you can find the Trump Tower, but it's way more over there. So when I went over there, there was a man painting this thing, and this was actually the background, which is behind the picture. So what you see in the picture is a painting representation of the back of it, like what he sees. We have Washington, D.C. So Washington, D.C., it's not a state, it's not a city, doesn't belong to anything. It's just Washington, D.C. It's unique. It's a unique federal district created specifically to be place of the government. So basically, we can find here the White House, the engraving and printing house, and what else can we find? We can find this tower, which is like very tall. If you just go there and you see up, it's very high. You can even see the end of it. So you have to back up like way too long. You have to back up a lot so you can actually see the tower completely. So there's a park. There's a park when you can find the Abraham Lincoln Monument. In that park, you can see some of the history of the U.S. too. It's like a very big park, and there's some water bodies too. And the day I went there, oh no, the day I went there, I found this plate. It was like World War II, and I was like, what? And around it, there's like a museum full of statues, a place full of statues, where it says the names of every U.S. country and say some history of it, of each one. They were like Puerto Rico, New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania, and there's some history about it, about each country, about each city of the US and everything. So yeah, they put actually the Abraham Lincoln statue because he was the one who ended the slavery and abuse. So that's why he's well known. Why this one move? Okay, just getting out the fact that picture moved. I don't know why. I wanted to show you some Dino Expo I went to the other day in New Jersey, not New York, New Jersey. And I just took these pictures, which are very funny. And the T-Rex too, because he has like the small arms. Yeah, they just look weird. They're cute, but they look weird for me. And I don't know why this one moved. That's very weird and strange. And we have my high school. So I study high school and I am 1 year away from graduating. I just need to finish this one, the next one, and then I go to university, to college. So I study at North Plainfield High School, which is in New Jersey, kind of the Canex. Here is the, they always say some announcements over there. Here is the turf where the football players go and the soccer players too. Here's the gym, my high school gym. Here's my auditorium where the drama club actually always do something. They always do something. And they're actually very good, to be honest. Here's the main entrance of my building. So my high school, it's named one of the best New Jersey high schools. Yeah, we have good stuff. Yeah. So this is the library of my high school, and these are the chairs, the bleachers of the turf. So if you can see here, I don't know which year this was taken, but this year, this last year, like this very year, we went to the turf because every year we do like after the fall sports, we make something like this. So the players and the band and the musicians just come here and just be like, oh no, and just be like, come on, let's go. Put some like happiness on it because we've just finished the season of all sports, fall sports, and then the winter sports combo later on. So we went outside and it was like more people, way too more. I don't know.
I have a question regarding the sports in USA because I am very curious about it. Uh, do you know if you guys have a regional championship, and then if you qualify, you participate in a national championship or something like that?
I think they have it on the universities, or at least my high school, no.
Oh, okay, just university then.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not pretty sure.
No,
I have to do our research for that.
for
Okay, so next we have Thomas Edison National Historical Park. So basically, Thomas Edison, if you don't know him, he was the one who put the electricity in the light bulb. So that's why we have like just the light bulbs all around our houses, all around places, and we don't have to use candles.
Is it in New Jersey or New York?
Yeah, this one is in New Jersey, East Orange.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
So basically we have some photos of Edison doing his labs, and here he has like his biggest impact and experiments, creations. Here is the sign which says Thomas Edison National Historical Park. It is placed here, and this is the main entrance. It is actually divided by two. If you go by the main entrance and you take a right, you can go because that's the visitor center. But if you go to the left, you will not be able to enter because there's like a storage and chemicals and everything he had. We can see it here in the map, you see. This is all storage. Uh, the right part, it's the visitor center, and behind it, like at the end, it's the main laboratory. He had many laboratories and libraries too. So here we can find some of.
Wait, it was his actual house then?
Yeah, I mean, not his actually like home house where he lived with his wife and kids. No, it was just like a house because he spent like too much time there, so he had to live there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
When I went to the tour over there, they said he actually didn't sleep sometimes at all.
Whoa.
Because he was making like his creations and doing some research. He had like many books. If you go there, you just see many books. There's like three floors, and all around the place. It's a big room, 3 floors, and you can just go up the stairs and see the books. Everything is full of books.
Oh,
that's amazing. I want some. Okay, so first of all, we have the labs. So here we have 3 of them. They were like 5, if I'm not wrong. They were many labs, and they seem small, but they're like actually big, because here is where he and his crew, he created the light bulb, he made experiments. Do you know how many tries did he have so he can create the light bulb with electricity? there's no point because there were many. He had many fails until he got it. We have the library, as I was talking. You see, there's all around the place. You just go inside and you just stand up there and see like, oh, too many books. And if you can see, there's like floors in this picture, there's like floors and they go up. I couldn't find an actual picture. This was like in the second floor. If you can see his bed and all around books. Here is his desk. Yeah, it was like actually like a library, a mini library. Here is how he created incandescent electric light bulbs. So here we can see him with the first light bulb with electricity. Here is like the drawing, like the model he wanted to. He said, okay, I'm going to make it this way. So yeah, until he created and he patented that. What is that? So he actually go to an office and says, so I created this and this is mine and you can steal it from me. The idea and the name and everything. So that's why his name is, he is the inventor of it because he patented the light bulb. Next, we have the phonograph. These items are the most famous he made. So he made the phonograph. It consists, you can record voices and music and you can listen to them after, like a voice recorder. So we can see here Edison with the phonograph. We can see here somebody putting playing some music to the phonograph and hear how it works. You record something in one side and you listen to the other side. And here's the model he made. So he can like build it up.
Do you know about his history? I mean, was he rich? Does he come from a rich family, or does he had a sponsor, or how does he had those libraries, labs? Do you know or not?
Yeah, so my dad made me read like a book this big of Thomas Edison. And I remember half of it because I read it like years ago. So basically, I might be wrong, but this is what I remember. So he comes from an honest family and he started creating his things because of the idea he had. He wanted to make something better for him and everybody else. You see, great minds over there. And so he started making his ideas and he had like 2 or 3 wives and I think 5 kids. He still have legacy though. There's people who has his last name because they're like this descendants from them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I might be lying. I wanted to read it, but like I read it like years ago. I read so many books.
No problem, no problem.
Okay, so next we have the motion picture camera. So he didn't create this like alone. He just took the name and the patent to his name. But he didn't create the model and everything alone. He made it with a pair of twin brothers. So they three create the idea and actually build the model. And they got a first motion picture camera. And we can see here the phonograph and the picture camera. So this actually promoted the Hollywood industry because since then we can like record the videos, the movies and everything. So I think they connected, like they record the audio and the video separately and then they just mix it up. And then, you know, we just have the cameras, which has the voice recorder inside the camera and everything. That's crazy. And yeah, this is the actually main idea. This is how they draw it, so they can create this. Here is actually Edison being one of the brothers who helped him finish it. Here is somebody who took a picture of him using the camera. And thank you for attending today. That was it.
Thank you, Jennifer. Wait a minute. Do you guys have any questions? No questions? Gallery. Okay. Everything was clear. We have a question. Oh no, it's not recording the presentation. But thank you, Jennifer, for your presentation. I really liked it. And I was very curious about the Thomas Edison house. I will visit someday so I can check on my own. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Okay. So I have a question about companies. Is Greco difficult or is one to work with? I have read it saying, but what do you think? Let me check. I actually don't remember about Greco. 1 minute. I think that it was one of the standard ones. So it's probably, it's not easy, but it's not the hardest one, okay? But let me confirm. But why do you ask? Just let me open here. Oh, actually, Greco is the new one. I actually have no idea if it's hard or easy. But for I can say, at least for the challenge that they wanted from you guys, it's kind of the standard one. So it's not the hard ones, but it's more or less. I cannot say that's easy because we don't have easy challenges, okay? But it's a standard one. Yeah, I think. Have you read all the other challenges? Because we have quite different ones, but the Greco, it's a standard one. So I would recommend for academic students to take on standard ones. But if you guys want to take others, that's fine as well. Okay. Do you guys have any questions for Jennifer? Everything's okay? No questions? No? Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the next steps of the program, okay? So let me share my screen here. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys already have met your teammates, right? If you didn't, make sure to contact them as soon as possible, have meetings, start to talk, and everything else. And also for this week, you guys are supposed to select your client organization, right? So that's why you should have meetings to agree, to have an agreement on which company you take on. And for next week, you guys will start the real project, okay? So you will be working on report section 1. So whenever you choose your company, just let me share my screen again, actually. Whenever you choose your company, you can go for a Greco, for example, and just scroll down. Actually, first read all the description about the challenge, and you can scroll down here, section 1, market. So here's the report section 1. So you guys can work on this section 1, just read. To provide a foundation for your analysis, start with a survey of the industry. Who are your clients' main competitors? what are clients' strengths, weakness. So do this research to compile all the things for section 1 and also the new market selection analysis, okay? All the information will be in the chosen challenge. And also, if you want, there's a couple of recommendations here. So section 1, this week your team is expected to submit a draft of your section 1 and see all the details that I mentioned before, okay? So everything is clear for the challenges, right? Okay. So that's it for today, guys. Just let me check what we will have for next weekend. Oh, right. For next weekend, we will have a guest speaker. Okay. So please join us next week at the same time again. That's it for today, guys. Do you guys have any questions, problems? Oh, and one thing, if you guys want to host a virtual tour like Jennifer did today, just make sure to contact Luisa or Nushad, okay? They will be handling all the stuffs for next virtual event as well. Okay. Luisa, Nushad, will you guys want to say anything? Everything okay?
Yeah, thank you so much, Jennifer, for doing amazing virtual tour today. And everyone who watched, thank you for coming to the virtual tour.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jennifer.
Okay, so that's it, guys.
Yes.
Thank you.
I do have. So also thank you for the tour. It was really amazing. You made me more curious about America, even though it's really, really far from Europe. And I love the part where you kind of included your dog everywhere. I'm also an animal lover, so it was so nice.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry for that. No, my dog is actually everywhere with me. I have like more pictures of my dog than anything. I don't know where she's at right now. She should be somewhere here.
What's the name?
Carolina.
Carolina?
Yeah. Carolina. Oh, I saw her. She's over there.
That's great. Thank you, guys. So thank you for today, and I hope to see you next weekend. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.